Your brand new iPhone deserves the best protection, and the iLune 3-pack screen protector plus 3-pack camera lens protector has you covered. Don't take risks with your iPhone. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Retired Brit couple in Thailand beaten to a pulp by neighbors in driveway row. But now they are the ones facing prison. A pensioner couple who retired to Thailand after falling in love with the land of smiles were beaten to a pulp by neighbors, but now face jail amid claims of blatant corruption. The dream sunset years of Middlesbrough pair Des and Mary Byan have turned into a horror beyond their worst nightmare, with their passports confiscated and no means of escaping bent justice. Brit's Des, 77, and Mary, 69, face financial ruin and are forbidden from leaving the tropical Southeast Asian country for life-saving hospital treatment. Mary, a former NHS palliative care nurse, suffered a broken nose, bleeding on her brain, and a irregular heartbeat when they were set upon during a bitter planning dispute. After being knocked out in the unprovoked ambush, one of the assailants told her partner, "You're all right, she's still breathing." During the brutal attack, which was caught on CCTV film obtained by The Sun, Des was battered to the floor and hit 22 times to the head. He was unconscious and needed a hospital stay to recover from his horrific head and back injuries. A couple in dispute with them over an access road in their retirement villa, aged in their 40s and trained in Thai kickboxing, were initially found guilty of assault and ordered to pay compensation. But they appealed the verdict, and despite the damning evidence, following a judicial U-turn, the Byans have now been charged with causing their fit neighbors superficial injuries and mental anguish. And after refusing to pay a bribe, Des and Mary face a March 12 court date at which they have been warned they will be jailed. They also fear a post-prison probation sentence, which means they won't get their passports back for years. Mary sobbed to The Sun, "We just want to come home. It's like something out of a bad movie. We are already trapped like prisoners despite not being locked up. Our health has deteriorated, and we've spent our life savings on this horrible ordeal. The system here, the police and judiciary, is so bent. We have begged for help from the British Embassy and Foreign Secretary David Lammy, but are told there's nothing that can be done. They just assured us we'll get our medicines brought to us when we're locked up. The whole thing is on CCTV, but we are being victimized. Thailand is known as the land of smiles because the people are known for their hospitality and friendliness. But our idyllic retirement in paradise has landed us in a living hell. The nightmare for the Byans is a far cry from the happiness they felt in 2021 when moving to a retirement villa in the seaside resort city of Hua Hin, promoted officially as the Thai Riviera, just a 2.5-hour drive from Bangkok. Mary said, "My sister lived in Sydney and we fell in love with Thailand on numerous stopovers and trips. We holidayed here dozens of times. We rented at first, then spent around £200,000 on a villa in a new retirement complex. We were so happy." But their dream life turned sour after returning from a shopping trip to find developers undergoing building work on their property. And their neighbors said they now own the access road to it. A row broke out, and the Byans managed to stop the development on their land for 3 months after hiring a lawyer and discovering the local residents had no legal right to muscle in on their home. Tensions escalated until in December 2023, the couple were alerted to their warring neighbors pulling up plants in their garden and screaming abuse at them. They went outside to investigate when the couple were attacked, with Mary shoved to the floor and Des knocked down and repeatedly hit and kicked while out cold. Des, who worked as an analyst in the chemical and oil industry, said, "When we came around, we asked other neighbors for help, but were told to get lost and go home. The police were not interested either. We tried to file a report at Sam Roy Yacht Police Station, but they didn't accept our complaint. Eventually, we found someone who took us to hospital. It was all such a horrible and shocking ordeal." The couple's neighbors initially pleaded guilty to assault and were ordered to pay a small amount of compensation. But incredibly, in July last year, the Byans were summoned to court to be told they were now being prosecuted over the attack. Mary said, "Our fingerprints were taken and passports confiscated, and despite us being 25 years old, We were said to have injured and harmed our superfit Thai boxing-trained neighbors. One of our attackers dropped their phone when beating us, and now we're accused of property damage too. We were told if we paid the prosecutor money and pleaded guilty, it would all go away or we'd get treated more favorably. Our first lawyer was afraid to go to court. The second just took our money and did nothing. But we have refused to pay bribes. It is so wrong, the corruption is unbelievable. We're just cash cows to them. We have had to spend our life savings on new legal representation and selling our dream retirement home for our own safety. We can't be at risk of attack again and are living out of suitcases in temporary accommodation. But we can't leave the country or get the health care we need. The hearings and documentation is in Thai, and so we rely on translations when available. It's all a blur and looking bleak. Without our passports in the last few months, I have missed one of my sister's funerals and goddaughter's wedding. And the expert medical care I need is out of reach. She said, "We are prepared for the worst. It has taken such an emotional and financial toll. We never thought our retirement would go like this." Thailand, land of smiles. It's more like the land of corruption. Thailand has turned our dream into a nightmare. We've spent 35 years loving Thailand. Now, we just want to escape it. Frantic family members of the Bayans in the UK, including Mary's brother, nieces and nephews, and Des's brother, have enlisted support from British politicians. Labour's Rupa Huck, MP for Ealing and Central Acton, has begged for help from David Lammy and Catherine West MP, Undersecretary of the State, Indo-Pacific. In a letter seen by The Sun, the MP urged, Mr. and Mrs. Bayan have had their passports confiscated and had counter charges pressed against them by perpetrators, due to this being framed as a mutual altercation. But sources said the Foreign Office cannot intervene in internal affairs of another country. An official Foreign Office spokesperson told The Sun yesterday, "We are supporting 2 British nationals in Thailand and are in contact with the local authorities."